Okay, normally I would say that it's time to point out the elephant in the room. But let's be honest, due to what's been going on and due to recent events, instead of one elephant in the room, it's actually several. Anymore, and there'd be no room. Because, elephants are too big to fit in the room. But just thought I would ease some tension. So, good morning, happy Friday. I said that there are some elephants in the room, and the only way to really get into them is to, talk about them. First and foremost, Rita's actually did close its stores temporarily as of Wednesday, I believe. So, no way I'm getting any Rita's today. Yeah. I'm sad, but, and keep in mind, someone could feel free to maybe edit this part so you fit that movie clip in there. But it really is for the greater good that, they have to temporarily close. I actually know the owner well enough to know that, he knows what's best for his business, and due to all these times and trying to be careful, that's really about all we could do. Oh, and in case anyone's wondering, yes, the movie clip I was referring to was from Hot Fuzz. So, any editing geniuses out there, work your magic, I guess. So, that's one way you can entertain yourself while you're stuck in quarantine, I suppose. So, another thing that happened is normally I said that at the last Thursday of every month I would do an arc thoughts on a particular arc in One Piece. And I am getting it ready right now. I had prepared last night, but then I thought about it and I realized why the schedule for doing arc thoughts is the way it is. See, I purposely have arc thoughts at the end of every month so the manga itself has an opportunity to keep going. See, ultimately, yes, at some point, my arc thoughts are going to catch up with the manga before it's completely done. I was well aware of that going in. But with the fact we've had so many breaks, one of which really was the fact that Ichiro Oda, the author of One Piece, ended up getting sick at one point, even with waiting until the end of the month to get to it, I'll catch it up in no time. Which, I say that now, but it's going to be like mid-2022 when I would theoretically be talking about Wano when we get to that. But, again, but here's the thing. With all the arcs, with all the breaks that come up every occasion, we'll catch up to Wano, and Wano won't even be done. Because, again, Wano's been pretty huge. I mean, it is what constitutes as a mega arc. If it takes close to or more than 2 years, it's a mega arc. And Wano is without question a mega arc. It may not have as many chapters as, say, Dressrosa, but I get the feeling that's going to change over time. And whether or not my arc thoughts actually catches that, it remains to be seen. But, yeah. Don't worry, though. I'm still going to get the arc thoughts to you by the end of this month. Personally, I'd rather wait till the absolute closest to the end of the month I can. So, I guess you could expect it Tuesday, March 31st. I guess. It should be, yeah, so 3rd, 28th, yeah, it'd be, that's exactly what it would be. So, yeah, I know, I could have done my arc thoughts last night, but, I opted not to. And, a third elephant in the room, and I'm pretty sure this is the last one, is, well, you guys have been pretty, if any of you have been astute lately, you would have noticed I haven't talked about how excited I am for this week's episode of Hot Ones. And that's because there was no new Hot Ones this week. There was just Sean Evans making a video about how he's dealing with quarantine and what the future of Hot Ones holds as of right now. Which, yes, it is sad that there is no new episode of Hot Ones, but there actually is some good news. I mean, I'll put a link to the video in the description below, but again, there is some good news. And the good news entails that there is, in fact, going to be a new episode of Hot Ones this week and next week. They actually filmed 2 episodes prior to all this happening. There's going to be a Truth or Dab, and then by the time the mid-season break is over, we can start off with season 12. So I guess these next 2 episodes would be the penultimate penultimate episode and then the season finale. What's even better is we actually already know who the next Hot Ones guest is. And it's going to be Zac Efron. Which, honestly, I think it's about time. Oh, and here's the thing. I really like Zac Efron. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, Zac Efron is, a celebrity and actor who actually started off as, I guess we refer to as a Disney Channel star. As he made his debut as a leading act in the High School Musical movies. Now, I think it's about time to talk about the High School Musical movies a little bit. Because, I mean, at the worst, because here's the thing, I really do like those movies. I do. I mean, to say that definitely speaks to my generation during my time when I was a teenager. Because I was actually like a junior, senior, and then the third movie came out when I was a Trinity Poly. But yes, now I was like technically the right age group to be relating to the characters in these movies, which is awesome. But there was for a long time, there was this sort of stereotype where, if you like the High School Musical movies, then you're, well, probably, I don't know if I should actually say this on camera, but basically, and keep in mind, I have all the respect in the world for anyone in the LGBTQIA community, but there was a stereotype going on where you were gay if you were a fan of the High School Musical movies, which, ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you, if anyone ever says that, if anyone still does believe that, you have my permission to punch them in the face. Because there is nothing wrong with liking those movies. They really are likable. And they really do talk about especially the third one, talks about the goings-on for life as a teenager in high school. It just happens to do it in a musical fashion. High School Musical. Anyway, so, again, those movies really do speak to me. I really do like those movies. And, needless to say, I really like Zac Efron. That guy has talent to spare. Now, fans of the High School Musical movies know that in the first movie, that's not Zac Efron singing. They got Drew Seeley to record over him. But over time, Zac Efron got better, and, as time went on, he really began to hold his own. And, yes, over the years, Zac Efron's been in some pretty crazy movies, like Dirty Grandpa, and, I guess Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates if you want to put in that category. I actually heard it was really funny. I never saw it. But I heard a lot of people may not have liked it. I mean, the Baywatch movie is another one. But Zac Efron has had some really, really good performances. Like, that one movie, I forget the name of the movie. It's a really long, weird sounding title where he portrayed Ted Bundy. Like, he was really good as that. And he's had other really great performances too. So, yeah, next week I'm really looking forward to see how Zac Efron handles The Wings of Death. They actually did show a sneak preview of what next week's episode is going to be. And it was just him and Sean talking about how marvelous it is that they're nearing the end of season 11 as they're recording. Which again, it really is remarkable. Plus, again, I always like an opportunity to learn, and who knows, maybe during the Hot Ones interview next week, I'll learn more about Zac Efron. That's pretty cool, right? So, yeah, Zac Efron's episode is going to be next week. There's going to be another episode a week later, and they're going to be calling that the season 11 finale. It may not have all the pomp and circumstance that a regular season finale has, but due to the times, I'd rather take having 2 more episodes of Hot Ones than having none of them at all. It's difficult, but I can live with it. Plus, again, we're going to get a truth or dab at one point. And by the time the mid-season break is over, this whole coronavirus thing will also have blown over. And we'll all continue on with our daily lives. So, yeah. It's been kind of rough, but as long as we get through one day at a time, it's going to be good. Plus, yesterday, even though I wasn't able to do much, I've been taking the time to spend time with my mother and father. Yeah, I'll just go visit them whenever they're, free to visit. So last night, I actually had dinner with them. Which, considering what we had last night for dinner, it's a really good thing I got my meat fix in. Because I can't have meat today, but, I could have it yesterday. And my mom actually makes a really, really, really special, here's the thing. Growing up in Big Flats, there was a really good Chinese restaurant called Shanghai Express. And there's a lot of stuff I like from their menu. One of the things I really like that my mom is capable of making is their pepper steak with peppers and onions. And my mom can make that. I mean, it doesn't come with that special thick sort of sauce that you associate the pepper steak and onions to come with. However, it's still really good. It's still homemade. I mean, full disclosure, Chinese is one of my favorite kinds of food. Kinds of food. Thank you. And honestly, having it again really brought me back to when I was a kid. It was really sweet. Pepper steak with, peppers and onions and, rice, and over a bed of rice. It doesn't get any better. I really like that dish. And, personally, when it comes to having that dish, you have 2 schools of thought. You can have your rice on the side or have the steak, peppers, and onions on a bed of rice. I choose the latter. Because all the juices from the steak and the peppers and onions are soaked up by the rice. Oh, man, that's so good. It is. Man, that brought me back. Although my brother would do something kind of... But growing up, my brother would do a thing where he would, slurp the juices out of the, off of the plate instead of, picking up the plate, kind of like a bowl, kind of. That was kind of silly. But other than that, man, it was a really, really good, it was a really good dinner. Had a great time. Most likely going to be seeing my folks tomorrow. So, yeah. You know what? You may have to be quarantined from everyone else, but I'm not going to be quarantined from my own family because I love my family. And hey, if nothing else, it does follow my New Year's resolution I made to spend more time with family. And I'm doing that. Yeah, technically it's only for several hours for the sake of having dinner, but in these times it's definitely better than nothing. So I will gladly take that wholeheartedly. Like, favorite, share, hit that subscribe button, follow me in the social media platforms, turn on those notifications on YouTube. I am very humbled I made this video for all of you guys who watch and enjoy for today. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if you guys want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear, and I'll always have your back. Take care, and make good choices. See ya.